Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. As Shimei said, my name is John Winnis. I'm the Safety Program Manager for CANSO. Today, I'm excited to share something that we have worked on with our Next Gen SMS working group to help those members that have not completed or have had trouble completing the EUROCONTRol CANSO SMS SoE. The Pathway to Participation is an initiative to help those members get started. This was recently debuted at our safety conference in New Zealand. And as of today, only about 50% of our CANSO members complete the SMS SoE each year. We're here today to help those members that may not have completed get a better understanding and help them really get started on their SMS journey. It's a new onboarding process as well that we're going to talk about a little bit later on. And so we'll start with a poll for everyone to just kind of gauge the audience and see where we're at. So we'll go ahead and launch the first poll question. And everyone take just a few moments to please vote. Has your organization participated in the SMS SoE in the last 2 years? Please select one of the following question or one of the following answers. All right, so we'll wait just a little bit longer to see where everybody's at with this. Give everyone a chance to answer. All right. And I think that's probably long enough to give everyone a chance to answer if they've completed it in the last couple of years. I'm not sure if we're going to share those answers now. I think that we will go ahead and share. So, okay, great. We have about 50% of those that are online that have completed, which is ironically enough, just about how many people of the CANSO members that do complete it each year. So we'll go with the second poll question. So the second poll question is on the board at this time. The SMS SoE has not been completed by my organization last 2 years because and just select one of those responses. So please only just one of those responses. So just a couple more seconds here, and then we'll show the poll results. And yeah, if you could just choose one of the responses there. All right, we'll go ahead then and look at the quick poll results for the next one. Great. So the login credentials, and we're going to help you resolve some of those issues again with the onboarding process this year. So we'll go with a third poll result, and this one should be very easy and very straightforward. And the third poll should be coming up. Okay, who on the call plans to participate in 2025? So just to get an idea of where we're at. Maybe you know you're not going to participate, or maybe you know for sure you're going to participate, or that's why you're here today. All right. Just a couple of more seconds here and then we'll get started. This is just to help us get a better understanding of the audience and where they're at, and then also try to help resolve. I work with EUROCONTROL to try to see how we can make it better for everyone that's going to be doing this. So this will help us out a little bit. All right, so I think we can go ahead and show those poll results. I'm good. So it's great, 75% plan to participate this year, and there may be a reason as to why you're not, and we understand that. So thanks everyone for participating in that to help us get started. So at this time, I would like to introduce two of my colleagues that are going to get us kicked off. I am just your moderator for today, but I'm joined by two great colleagues of mine, Ms. Nikolai Gabadon, Director of Safety and Compliance from GCAA, who's also one of our co-chairs of the Next Gen SMS work group, as well as Mr. Radu Chapina, Senior Team Leader from EUROCONTROL. So thank you. Thanks, Radu, and thanks, Nikolai. If you have anything that you would like to say or just introduce yourselves, and then we can get started with the webinar, that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you, John. So good morning. Well, good morning from Jamaica. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. So I am Nikolai Gabadon, as John just mentioned. I am the Director of Safety and Compliance at the Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority, and I'm also co-chair of the CANSO's Next Gen SMS work group. So this morning, we will be discussing the pathway to participation in the CANSO, in the EUROCONTROL CANSO Standard of Excellence SMS assessment. So while we await the slides to be on display for you, I will just share that the presentation will be in two parts. So we will start with talking about the SMS assessment, just briefly, why it is important to participate and why we're encouraging your participation this morning or today. Thereafter, we will transition to talking more about how to actually participate in the SMS assessment. Next slide, please. So for those of us who've participated in the SMS assessment, this would be nothing new for you. But for those of us who have never participated and are interested in participating, I think it is good for us to start with talking about the benefit of participation. The EUROCONTROL CANSO SoE, Standard of Excellence in SMS Assessment, is a powerful tool for tracking your safety performance and the implementation of your SMS. It is an excellent tool for benchmarking. That's your internal benchmarking to assess how it is that your SMS has been standing up or measures up against our other counterparts globally. And overall, we're seeking to improve aviation safety globally as a community. Participating ANSPs also gain insights into the effectiveness of their own SMSs. how mature is your SMS? The SMS has been a requirement for ANSP since 2012 by the International Civil Aviation Organization. And now it has been some time, but we must admit that there have been challenges with implementing the SMS or having it performing as effectively as we would like. Of course, participating in the SMS assessment annually gives you the opportunity to access best practices that have been shared with us by other ANSPs who have advanced in their SMS implementation. Of course, a high participation amongst us as a community of ANSPs will only serve to improve global aviation safety. And of course, it gives us that opportunity to align more with the regulations that I am sure exist for most of us. Next slide, please. So while it is commendable that 50% of the member ANSPs are participating annually, there is a 50% opportunity for improvement. If we have a greater level of participation of ANSPs in the SMS assessment or benchmarking exercises will be more accurate. Certainly, the ANSPs that participate annually are the ANSPs that inform the benchmarking standard, the baseline. And it would be a more accurate baseline if all of us or most of us get involved and inform what it is that we're measuring against globally. So there are various reasons that have been shared with us as to why some ANSPs have not participated. And we'll talk about that a little bit more further on in the presentation. But I just want to share with you or encourage us to participate because this matters in achieving better benchmarking, sharing best practices, and improving our global safety culture. We can move to the next slide, please. So the challenges and the barriers that have been shared with us, CANSO listens. We've listed them here for us to see if there's any that we connect with or any that relates to our individual situation. Some of the reasons that have been shared with us are it is perceived to be too complex, it's too involved as a process, and I believe in the poll just now, there were some respondents who indicated that it is such, perceived to be a little bit too involved or complex. There's some ANSPs who believe that they're not ready based on where they have assessed their SMS implementation to be or the maturity level of their individual SMSs. They are not so convinced that they're ready to participate. I'd like to assure them that no, that's not the case. Participating gives you an opportunity to measure where you are internally and set your own safety planning and objectives to improve your SMS. There are some ANSPs that, of course, and reasonably so, are concerned about the information that is shared or the confidentiality of the information that is shared during the assessment. This information is kept confidential, and I will discuss this later on in this presentation. There are some ANSPs that believe that they do not have sufficient resources, particularly human resources, to commit to completing this assessment annually. Of course, there is a concern about the benefits to be derived from participating in this process. Some ANSPs believe that there is no tangible benefit, but I'd like to just encourage us to use the information that is derived from the assessment to improve your performance internally. That is how you will see the benefits. And of course, based on the poll, there were, I believe, 35% of the respondents who indicated that it's just not clear how to actually get involved and participate in the assessment. We'll discuss that further on as well. Next slide, please. So just to remind us of the power of participation, benchmarking, best practices, continuous improvement, and the safety leadership. Now with benchmarking internally, within your ANSP, within your planning processes, you're able to identify what is happening globally and address the gaps that you believe to be important to you at this point in time or at any point in time, and proceed with the means to have them improved, your safety performance improved. You will have access to best practices, proven strategies and solutions from ANSPs that are at the forefront of SMS in the industry. It gives you an opportunity to demonstrate continuous improvement. Once you've identified gaps, which naturally will surface in your assessment, you're able to tackle these gaps that you've identified and improve within your own system and SMS. And of course, it gives you an opportunity to demonstrate safety leadership globally. Next slide, please. States that have participated in the SMS assessment have benefited from an improved safety culture. Once it is that you have attempted to address or improve any element of your SMS, naturally this redounds to a benefit or an improved mark in your safety culture. This is something that it's not necessarily tangible, but certainly I'm sure that there are ways to measure it and see how it is that it benefits your individual organization and or global safety standards. Of course, it prepares you to meet your individual requirements to conform with the IQ standards. So whereas it does not necessarily guarantee that you will be compliant with all your regulations, it certainly will put you in a better place to demonstrate that you're aligned or seeking to observe the requirements of your state's regulations. Of course, there is the benchmarking opportunity for growth. Once you're able to incorporate what it is that is out there globally in your internal planning, certainly you will be able to improve. Next slide, please. On the matter of confidentiality, I'd like to remind us that the information shared with your assessor during the assessment is strictly confidential. The assessor will not be sharing that information with other organizations, with other ANSPs, with your regulators, with any other agency. That information, that data is yours. And CANSO is assuring you that this information is strictly confidential. Under no circumstances is this information shared. Of course, if it is that you wish to share information about your SMS or about your organization's performance as it relates to safety, it would be done with your approval and consent. Otherwise, the information is kept strictly confidential and it is shared with you at the ANSP for you to identify the areas that you wish to improve within your internal system. The assessment is designed to support your ANSP's SMS growth. It is not there for a global or a public comparison of the safety performance of ANSPs. As I mentioned, the information is yours and it is to be used within your organization to improve your safety performance. The confidentiality aspect of this assessment ensures that there's a safe space for honest assessment and meaningful safety improvement. The intention is not to expose your challenges, but to empower your progress in your journey implementing or improving your SMS. Next slide, please. Now, we have covered some general information about the SMS assessment. That was the EUROCONTROL CANSO Standard of Excellence SMS assessment. Now we will embark on that pathway, that journey that takes us to actually participating in the SMS assessment. Next slide, please. Thank you. So some questions that would naturally come to mind as to what exactly is the pathway to participation. One, it is a structured initiative, as John mentioned earlier, that is designed to support ANSPs in commencing their SMS implementation journey or to just have some affirmation that what they have done so far is actually what is required within the SMS framework. Why do you need it? NSPs would benefit from having this improved global safety standards by participating in this pathway to participation. It ensures that we're all, as a community, engaging in or embracing all the opportunities that are out there to internally assess the performance of our SMSs. How does it work? It provides concise guidance, resources, and collaborative support. There is peer support that is available, and it is aligned with the SMS frameworks and industry best practices. The audience are member ANSPs who wish to participate in the Standard of Excellence SMS assessment, and of course, a few other industry stakeholders who might be interested as to how it is that we prepare to participate in the assessment. And where can it be found? It is available on the CANSO website, and I will share a little bit more detail about that later on in this presentation. So a little bit more about what is the pathway to participation, P2P for short. So it is an initiative, a collaborative program that is designed to help NSPs address specific elements within the SMS. And the specific elements mentioned here will be expanded on in a later slide. We have not covered all the elements contained in the SMS framework, so this pathway to participation just focuses on a few elements that we have realized that generates a lot of interest and questions from member ANSPs over the years. Key components of this P2P include concise guidance, a resource library, and expert support. This is a peer support that is available within CANSO to any NSP that is interested in improving or implementing the elements that are mentioned here. Of course, our anticipated outcome is an enhanced SMS within your NSP, improved safety performance, and alignment with global standards. So let us address what the pathway to participation is not. There are numerous tools, guidance material, information that is provided on SMS, and it can be overwhelming. So this may be another tool. It is not designed to overwhelm or cause any more confusion, but it is important that we address what it is not. It is not a mandate. It's entirely voluntary, and it is intended to be a support tool or guidance that would assist us more in our SMS journey. It's not regulatory, and there are no punitive measures associated with this P2P. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution. Each NSP is expected to refer the information, and based on your operational needs, your operational context, you would take from it what you believe would work for you. It's not a replacement for the existing SMS framework. It's not a short-term fix. It's not an abbreviated SMS. You would be expected to implement all the elements of the SMS to actually communicate or state that you have an SMS in place. It is not a replacement for the Standard of Excellence in SMS assessment. And finally, it is not an assessment. It's just a tool, it's information, it's assistance, it's something that you can refer to build out your SMS further. The intended audience of the P2P. Primary audience includes NSPs. NSPs who are desirous of participating in the SoE SMS assessment annually, NSPs that wish to start participating consistently, NSPs desirous of improving specific elements within their SMS, and NSPs in the early stages of implementing their SMS. The secondary audience includes other industry stakeholders and partners. So this demonstrates what the journey looks like on the P2P. One, you will start with identifying an element from the elements that we have worked on, that we have packaged for you. You would identify an element that you wish to focus on, or a few elements. Then you would refer the worksheets that are made available on the CANSO website. While going through the worksheets, you can view examples of evidence. What is it that would convey that you have successfully and appropriately implemented any of the elements that would have been addressed? The CANSO peers information is attached to each sheet for you to connect with if it is that you desire further assistance or guidance in addressing that specific element of the SMS. Of course, you would then be expected to assess, improve, and refine that particular element of the SMS within your NSP. And finally, this would take you to the point where certainly you should be ready to participate in the SMS assessment. So here we are now with the 6 elements that we have made available to CANSO members. The 6 elements include safety policy, safety accountability, safety risk management, safety investigation, management of change, safety promotion, and training. So these 6 elements within the SMS are the areas that we have received interest and questions, and persons seeking to improve have reached out. These are the areas that are of primary interest. So we, as the SMS Next Gen Work Group, decided to just make this information available in this iteration of the P2P. We anticipate that going forward, we will be able to address additional elements within the SMS and make this information available to the CANSO membership. So here we are looking at the phased SMS implementation approach as proposed by CANSO. So if it is that this is the approach that you have observed or you're attempting to use to implement your SMS, you will see that the 6 elements that we have focused on are contained within phases 1, 2, and 3. The safety policy and safety accountability are contained within phase 1. Investigation, safety promotion, and training are in phase 2. Safety risk management, management of change are contained in phase 3. So we are not proposing that you disrupt your implementation plan or structure to shift to focusing on the 6 elements that we have here. But what we have done is provide additional information that you could use to augment your implementation plan. Next slide, please. Thank you. So here we have listed the 13 study areas of the SMS assessment. I will just share with you that the SMS assessment, for those of us who have participated, this should be nothing new. But for those of us who are new to the process or interested for the first time, the SMS assessment is structured based on 13 study areas, and they're listed here. The font in bold that indicates the IQ, an IQ reference, points to the element within the IQ's SMS framework to which the study area aligns. So all of this comes together nicely. There is nothing that is going to take you off your path or into something new or into participating or getting involved in any additional activity that would not necessarily meet your final objective of having the SMS in place. It is all aligned and will only serve to ensure that you've accessed as much information as possible to achieve an effective SMS. The 6 elements are to the right of the slide. These are also aligned with the study areas contained within the SMS assessment, and they are also aligned with the IQ's SMS framework. So safety policy and safety accountability are covered in study areas 2 and 3 and are contained in IQ elements 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3. Investigations are contained in study area or addressed in study area 8. Safety promotion and the training is captured or assessed on the study areas 12 and 13. Safety risk management is captured in the study area 6, and management of change is there at study area 11. And just to remind you, the IQ SMS element that corresponds with this is 3.2. So we've ensured that everything is aligned, and we're just seeking to provide additional support in your SMS implementation, taking you to participating in the SMS assessment. So where can you find the information? For non-member ANSPs, they would be required to send an email request to safety@canso.org. And for CANSO members, the worksheets are available on the CANSO site. Just navigate to the safety area of the website and proceed to the working documents. The worksheets are there for your viewing. Here we have on display an example of what the worksheet looks like. So here we have investigations, and we have broken it into sub-focus areas and then expanded on it by showing guidance on what and how you proceed with implementing these particular areas of that would be contained in your investigation activity. The operational practices of other ANSPs are contained here. We have not identified the ANSPs that contributed to this. All the ANSPs that we have referred are collectively referred to here as ANSP 1013. We have indicated the benefit of implementation, and we have given an indication of the resources that would be needed to implement and also keep it working, to maintain this aspect of your SMS. And of course, we have included examples of evidence. What is it that would confirm that you have effectively implemented this particular element? Okay, so for the 35% of our attendees at the time that responded to the polls, there was an indication that it just was not clear how to actually log in and access the SMS assessment. So now that we've covered any preliminary work or concern that you may have about the readiness of your SMS to be assessed, we're here at this point now ready to participate. This is for the ANSP that has gotten to that point that is ready to participate in the SMS assessment. So we have step-by-step guidance here on what exactly it is that you need to do. The first step within your ANSP, you need to assign a point of contact. The point of contact may be somebody in your safety department or safety unit, or whomever it is that you have identified would be responsible for liaising with the assessor, ensuring that the survey is completed and submitted in time. The ANSPs, as ANSPs, we all have a focal point. The focal point is not necessarily the point of contact. The focal point oftentimes is the head of your organization, your CEO or director general or such. But it is not expected that that person would be the one to liaise with the assessors as frequently as the assessment requires and to actually have the survey completed. That is expected of the point of contact. Step 2, you'd be required to sign up for the EUROCONTROL CANSO SMS assessment. If you have already signed up or you're participating, you would have already received a follow-up or an email to indicate that the assessment will be open soon. For those of us who haven't participated in a while, I would strongly recommend that you submit or send an email to safety@canso.org indicating that you are interested in participating this year. Provide the contact details of your point of contact, name, email, and phone number, and indicate your interest. Step 3, this will be new for ANSPs who will be participating for the first time. CANSO has and EUROCONTROL have ensured that they are providing as much support as possible to ANSPs that are interested in participating in the assessment. So the CANSO Safety Program Manager and the EUROCONTROL lead will reach out to the ANSP's point of contact after that information is submitted to have an initial discussion, provide any guidance, respond to any questions, and just provide general clarification on what the process will entail. You will have a few meetings with your assessor if needed, as well as the CANSO Safety Program Manager and the EUROCONTROL lead. After we have completed those initial steps of assigning the point of contact and having that initial dialogue or meeting with your assessor and the safety program manager, you will access the survey. The point of contact will receive the confirmation email and access the assessment portal link. Credentials will be provided to log in, and you would proceed and start the assessment. If it is that there is any challenge or difficulty encountered, there is a support team that is quite responsive in having any issues addressed. Then, of course, after accessing the assessment link, you would complete the SMS assessment. Now, key dates to bear in mind. The survey will be opened in May 2025. The submission deadline will be, you can have a discussion with your assessor, but normally within 2 months is when the survey would be closed. Just a little bit on what to expect. The assessment consists of yes and no questions, and the responses are based on your appreciation and understanding or assessment of where your SMS is, how mature your SMS is, what it is that you know of your SMS, and how it is performing. So those questions are responded to by the point of contact. The questions cover the 13 study areas that were displayed earlier, and you would be required to respond to all areas of the survey. And of course, your EUROCONTROL CANSO assessor will be available to provide some guidance throughout the process of completing the assessment, the survey. Finally, submit the survey. Once you complete each section of the survey, there will be an indication that that section is complete. However, when you have completed all 13 areas, you will still need to click finalize and submit again. It is possible, or it has happened, where the various study areas were responded to, the questions were responded to, but that final submission was not made. So just as a reminder, click finalize and submit once all the study areas are completed. You will receive a confirmation email to indicate that the survey was successfully submitted. And the final steps, it is recommended that you have a closeout meeting with your assessor. The assessor will go through the responses that you have provided, and a draft report will be made available to you for your review and your comment and further clarification if needed. After that is closed out, the final report will be submitted to the ANSP, either to your focal point and or point of contact. And then that information is for you to use, assess, incorporate in your safety planning, and improve your SMS. So that, in summary, covers the steps to how you actually get involved in completing the SMS assessment. So just a reminder, higher participation in the SMS assessment allows us to realize a stronger global aviation safety community. And we are seeking to have 100% participation of ANSPs in this assessment to improve our benchmarking and our baseline for safety. And each state's participation adds value to the industry and enhances our collective resilience and robustness. And to conclude, I just want to run through the steps quickly as to what it is that we're here encouraging us to do going forward. Firstly, take that first step and identify an element that you wish to improve or just assess to confirm that you are on the right path with your SMS. Access the Pathway to Participation worksheets on the CANSO website. Reach out to a CANSO peer if necessary. And finally, participate in the SMS assessment. And I am looking forward to greater participation this year. And I thank you for your time. Over to you, John.
Thank you, Nikolai. Excellent presentation. I definitely, if we were in a room, an audience, I would say it's time to give you a round of applause. So I want to say thank you for that detailed outline and initiative on the pathway to participation. I know that the Next Gen SMS work group, as well as yourself specifically, Nikolai, and your team there in Jamaica have done an excellent job getting this together and trying to help your peers get into a place where they're ready to get started on this journey. So Nikolai, thank you very, very much. We also have Mr. Radu on the phone here, or on the webinar as well. And at this point, I'd like to turn it over to Radu for a little bit to discuss a little bit as far as the dates and the onboarding process for the members that are on the line that may have some questions about that. And we'll go from there. So Mr. Radu, go ahead.
Right, thank you very much, John. Maybe just quickly introduce myself. So again, I'm Radu Cepone. I'm a senior team leader with EUROCONTROL, which is the European Organization for the Safety of Air Navigation. EUROCONTROL is an international organization of 42 member states. We've been in existence for over 60 years, the 60 years, and our activities span pretty much everything in the air navigation services, air traffic control, air management, and so on. So my role obviously is in safety, and I manage, among other things, this project that I've been managing for more than 15 years. And I also deal with safety tools, just culture, and so on. To your question, John, we have, maybe before I talk about the onboarding process, maybe just to clarify again that we're using electronic platforms. So in the past, we used to use an Excel file, which an Excel file is maybe easy to navigate through, but it has many issues in terms of security, because of course an Excel file can be lost, can be corrupted, can be transmitted to an unwanted destination. Now we are using a secure platform based on Power Apps from Microsoft. So maybe that's the only important item to note, that users, those who participate, must be users of Microsoft 365. Obviously, extremely few people today don't use Microsoft. So if you're not using at all Microsoft, then that may be a bit of a problem, but I'm sure we will find a solution. So far, we have not encountered that problem. So we're using a secure platform. It's hosted within EUROCONTROL. And as an international organization, of course, we are neutral and we ensure the security, the confidentiality of all the data. The data is only seen by the ANSP and actually those who literally have the credentials to log in. Usually it's 1, 2, 3 people from the ANSP. There is always one who is the main point of contact, and we can always add 1 or 2 others. And so the data, the questions and answers are only seen by those people and the assessor and myself as the project manager. So this is always very secure. Because it's a platform, it's an app. Actually, there are some options. There are some clicks that you have to go through, and that's why we have put in place an onboarding process. So we have a team of, I have a team of assessors, and each ANSP will receive one assessor, and they will go with this individual person throughout the whole, basically throughout the life of the project. And once you have been allocated an assessor, that assessor will get in touch with you, and you will have a Teams meeting and go through the details of the application to show you what are the steps, what are the possibilities, what are the various things that you need to do. Essentially, the questions need to be answered with a yes or no. And then there needs to be a justification. Why was that question answered yes? So just to explain for us to understand and provide some evidence to understand what the justification may refer to. And what I want to emphasize is that this evidence is not like in the cases of an audit where you will have to provide hard evidence, otherwise you're not your answer is not accepted. It's as much for you as it is for us, because we have seen very often organizations answering yes to a question because they believe this is the case in their organization, but when they start looking for evidence, they realize that actually it's not necessarily the case, that it may just be someone's initiative, or they think it is like that, but in reality it is not. And of course the processes have to be formalized. So this is what the evidence, providing the evidence, helps to actually realize whether that process is real, it's happening in the organization, or it's just something that is ad hoc. It's someone's individual initiative, which of course is not a proper SMS process. And I would also want to mention the dates that are important. So the launch of the actual measurement will be on the 15th of May. So we are only about 3 weeks away. And the deadline for the submission of the questionnaires, of the answers, will be by the end of June. That doesn't mean the end of the process at all. By the 15th of June, we need the questionnaires because there is an analysis process. And then there is a telephone interview, so the assessor will get back in touch with you, both through the application, so there is a possibility to ask questions in the application and answer it, but also there will be a telephone interview, a telephone of anything between 1 and 2 hours, where the assessor will focus with you on 1 or 2 study areas, and they may have some additional questions. So this comes usually after the submission of the questionnaire. So this is how the excuse me. This is how the process works. back to you, John.
Perfect. Radu, thank you very much for that detailed outline, and thank you again, Nikolai, for the pathway to participation. We do have a couple of audience questions in here, and I'll just go ahead. And Radu, I think I'm going to direct them more towards you, as they're more towards the SMS SoE as opposed to the pathway. And the first question is how many people from each ANSP are allowed to participate in this process?
Well, I already mentioned that there is always one main point of contact who will have access to the full questionnaire, who will bear the responsibility of answering the questions, of communicating with the assessor, with us with EUROCONTROL. We can add, if necessary, another 1, 2 people who can be distributed. So this is the main point of contact, the main responsible for the NSP, who will have to ask the assessor if they want to add additional people. A possibility from the questionnaire, from the platform, is to allocate certain study areas to other colleagues in the organization. So let's say there are questions about training, there are questions about investigation. Maybe the point of contact, the main driver, the main responsible for the questionnaire in the organization doesn't know all the details about the training or about the investigation, and then that person can allocate questions on training to someone who will answer for the training, questions on investigation to someone who is responsible for the investigation. Now, the only thing that I would say is that this should not be distributed to an unlimited number of people in the organization. Please try to keep it to a reasonable level, maybe 1, 2, 3 at most, because then it becomes complicated. And also we have to manage licenses, because all this is related to licenses, and it also has the cost that pretty much EUROCONTROL bears for the project.
Thank you. Radu, thank you for that. We have a couple of more questions, and I know that we're running close on time. I want to be mindful of everyone's time here. I think I know the answer to this, but again, I'm going to throw both of these over to you. So the next question, Radu, that we have is benchmarking is mentioned as one of the benefits of participating in the SoE. Can you please elaborate or give examples on how this is done in respect to confidentiality among participating ANSPs?
Yes. So benchmarking, what I want to emphasize is that benchmarking is, as it says here quite well in the question, is one of the benefits. It's not the main objective, because this is not a competition. We don't want to give grades to anyone. But for many organizations in the past, and it continues to be the case, they're interested to see where they stand with regards to their peers. So what we do is you will always know exactly what your levels and your scores are. So you will know in detail how you stand. And then you'll see aggregated data, you'll see an overall score. So everything else is shown anonymously. You will get, for example, you'll get a line which shows everybody on that line. So it's an anonymized line with one single dot on that line, which represents your organization. So every single organization will get a personalized graph like that. So you'll only know where you are with respect to everybody else. But again, you will never know who the others are.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Radu. We have, again, I think we have 2 more questions as of right now, and we'll try to get to those, and then we may have to cut it off. But according to the SMS maturity levels, there are 5 levels. My concern is how to start implementing the best practice, because that is one of the criteria to achieve at least level D resilient.
Yes, the best practices, of course, are usually created by those who are quite advanced. But in our experience, we have been running this survey for more than 20 years. We started for the very first time back in 2002. So in our experience, many ANSPs who are not very advanced can still draw on the knowledge, on the wisdom, if I can say so, of best practices, and they can already start implementing certain best practices. Certainly, they can be an inspiration for how can they evolve their various parts of the SMS. And what I would like to say is that many of these, you'll find some of those practices in one way or another also picked up by ICAO, not the specific best practices that we receive, but the principle, because I also happen to be in the safety management panel of the NX19, and I'm leading one of the working groups. And ICAO has created the SMI website, so Safety Management Implementation website, where many practices are listed. And if you look on the SMI website, you will see that some of those practices are very similar to the practices that we receive, because of course, some of them come from the same source.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, Radu, thank you for that. And I just have a couple of comments here. One was that there is an ANSP out there that's been using the SoE for the last 20 years, and they say it's the best tool they've used to make safety improvements, and it's huge benefit and best practices in sharing. So I want to say thanks for that. I won't say who it was, but I will say thank you for the feedback on that. I know that EUROCONTROL and myself at CANSO are happy to hear that. I do want to say, everyone, thank you for dialing in. Radu and Nikolai, I want to say thank you for your time. We'll go ahead and I'll do a final closeout on the presentation, but Radu and Nikolai, thank you for your time today. I appreciate that. Again, I just want to say thanks to everyone that took the time to call in. This year, again, we talked about the pathway to participation, the new onboarding process, and I would just ask that once you talk internally in your organization, to have them send an email to safety@canso.org. Myself and Radu will set up a virtual call, as he mentioned. We'll set up and make sure that we have the expectations of what is expected of this, and then also then somebody from the team will reach out to you to get you set up and on your SMS journey. So hopefully everyone here can see that we're listening to what you say. As Nikolai said earlier, we're doing what we can to make the improvements on our side to make this more accessible to everyone, and also to the members that have been participating for a while to help on their SMS journey. So I do want to say thanks to everyone for calling in. Thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day. Be safe and take care, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.